Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with episode 2 of our F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. Yes, of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday where we jumped in, sort of set up this career mode and got into the Bahrain Grand Prix, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out. As well, a massive thank you to all of you guys for the insane support so far on F1 22. You know, if you're not already, make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel, help us get one step closer to 60k, and then hopefully by the end of the year, we can try and hit our big goal of 100,000 subscribers. But yeah, like I said though, if you missed out on the video from Bahrain that went live yesterday, would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. I'm aiming to keep this series daily till about next week. And then, of course, obviously, the My Team Career Mode will sort of take center stage more than, obviously, this series. And it'll probably end up being sort of 3 or 4 times a week if I can try and get enough videos out for you guys as well there. But, of course, having a look then, in terms of current progress there, we've got a few upgrades still going on the car. Sadly, a lot of them failed prior to the Jeddah weekend, so you can just see, yeah, a lot of other teams making a bit more progress than ourselves after the opening race out in Sakir there, but fingers crossed all of these upgrades are going to go on the car, ready for the next race out in Albert Park. Championship-wise, though, Carlos Sainz leads the way to Hamilton and Sergio Perez there. We're currently in 7th, and 7th in the Drivers' Championship, 6th in the Constructors. Unfortunately, Mick Schumacher getting an engine failure to kickstart the all-new campaign. So fingers crossed we're going to be a good points threat early on in the year. We learnt a lot about the car last time out in Bahrain as well. So heading into Jeddah this weekend, hoping this is a track that suits the car. Let's get into it then here in Jeddah. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, here we are then, qualifying day in the Jeddah Street Circuit here in Saudi Arabia, and let's be fair, free practice went very well there, and if the race pace we had in the My Team Career Mode is anything to go by, this could be a very strong weekend in the Haas Road to Glory. Need to make sure we get a good qualifying lap in though, which we didn't manage in the My Team video that went live late on Monday night, so let's just wait and see what we can do then as we chuck it in down through 1 and turn 2 there. Really not actually trying to get close to the wall on the exits. You just find yourself getting a lot of wheel spin. And then down into the S's there. Down to 5th gear there. Oh, just a little bit wide through the first part. And then really got to modulate the throttle through these next couple of corners. They're super easy still, of course, with this Haas to over-rotate the rear end there. He's using all the curb and maybe just a little bit more there. As we head through the S's, navigated it pretty well first time around there. Upwards of 200 miles an hour, though, as you brake just after the black box in through the banked turn 12, and this is of course where we looped it round in the My Team Career Mode. No dramatics on this first lap in the Haas car there as Nicholas Latifi sends the benchmark on a 1:34.2. I'm hoping we're going to absolutely smash that lap. Want to be looking towards the 1 minute 30s as there we go. Alonso on a 31.9 early on. Activate the DRS down at the back straight. This corner still super difficult to try and spot your turn in point there. Just don't quite have the same grip as you would expect from F1 21 there. Lando Norris 31.2 even. So times are steadily improving early on in the session. But one more corner to go then. There we go. Verstappen down to a 29.2. That's what you expect the Red Bulls to be. What lap time are we going to be able to produce as we head out of the final corner? Drag racing up towards the line. 200 miles an hour. And it's going to be a 29.7 there. Half a second away from Verstappen. This track really suits our car. Well, 8 minutes left on the clock then as we head out for my second run. You know, it's the typical 6 in front of us. Both Mercs, both Red Bulls, both Ferraris. But fingers crossed, you know, if we can be best of the rest this weekend, I'd be very happy there. Let's see if we can try and rustle the feathers, though, of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. As, again, we head back down towards turn 1. They're trying to clip the orange sausage curb on the inside. Just trying to get a little bit braver on the throttle now, trying to see what little bit of extra speed we can attack through some of these corners, as through there. Really now launching the car over the curbs. That's what we need, just to build up the confidence in the car as we head through this first sector, and just able to spot the turn-in point there, or a little bit too much curb again, but it's going to compromise us on the exit. But again, another half a tenth up. And look at that as we head out onto the back straight, just getting a little bit braver with the car there. Now quarter of a second up as we head down the back half of the lap. Can we try and nail this corner this time through? Really trying to tap the curbs. Oh! Oh, no! Oh! You cannot use that curb. I keep forgetting. On F122, you cannot use that curb there. That's going to completely ruin this lap, unfortunately. But we know there's a little bit more time in the pocket. We can definitely get around that time that George Russell has set there. And could we start this thing on the third row of the grid here in Jeddah? We only get one more shot. We've got to make sure we nail it. Right, well, everyone then out on their final laps here of qualifying. Looks like we've got one car that's opted not to come back out of the pit lane here as we head out of the final corner. Try and give ourselves the best run as we head up towards the line here. But I'm sure we're going to see a lot of times tumble from other cars as well. So we need to really try and nail this lap and try and get it dialed in as we go late on the brakes down towards turn 1 there. Beautiful little spot of the braking mark. Unfortunately, took a bit too much curb through the second part there, but we're still finding time right towards the end of the session there. Of course, grip on the rise as well, so we can afford to be a little bit braver. That's really not helpful at the moment, Mark, as we head through the S's for the final time with a huge amount of anger there. And look at that, quarter of a second up again, though. We are getting more confident with this Haas car. We're just allowing it to slip a little bit on corner exit there as we try and put the throttle down, maybe a little bit early into turn 12. Don't light up the rears, though, on the exit in this next corner as well. There's definitely a little bit more time to find. Just tipped it in there again, missed the apex ever so slightly. We do get a nice run off the exit of the corner, but we're just going to be losing a little bit of delta as we head through this next fast section of sweeping corners here. Can we spot our braking point down into here? Avoid that curb. You don't want to use too much of that on the exit. And look at the run we've got off the corner there. You can see now near enough 4/10 up as we head down in towards the final turn here. As long as we don't mess this up, we could go quicker than George Russell here in qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix there. Slow the car down, try and get it turned in, miss the apex, but still try and get a nice run off the corner. It's going to be mighty close between myself and Russell, but I think we've just about done enough. It's P5. Well, there we go then. The best of the Brits on the grid here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix there. Charles Leclerc with Ferrari, rather unsurprisingly, takes another pole position there. 3/10 clear of Carlos Sainz. And I mean, we were pretty much matching Verstappen and Perez there at the end of qualifying. So this car around this track is very, very quick. We have to take the opportunities today. At the very worst, we need to try and come P7 here behind those two Mercedes there. But 1.1 seconds clear of Mick Schumacher as well there. Let's get into it then here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super, super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. and now host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Mr. Monaco, and Russell, Hamilton, Bottas, Ocon, and Lando Norris, Gasly, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda, and Fernando Alonso, Joe, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, and Lance Stroll. Latifi and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Couldn't have put it better myself there, Mark. Want to try and solidify ourselves as the best of the rest in this first season of the Haas Road to Glory, and starting P5 on the grid here in Jeddah. I think, hopefully, we're going to make that very, very clear to, the likes of Alpine, the likes of AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo. We want to try and prove ourselves. I think fourth is a fair aim by the end of this first season here. But starting P5 on the grid here in Jeddah, need to try and get a good start this weekend, just behind both Red Bulls and both Ferraris, because we could definitely apply the pressure to Mercedes today. I think in every video I've recorded so far in F1 22, Carlos Sainz, the very happy Spaniard, has ended up in P2 there. I think Verstappen's had one pole and Charles Leclerc has taken every single other one. But getting ready then here. Highest on grid position I've started so far on F1 22. Got to try and get some heat into the rubber though, so we can try and get a good start as we head down towards the start-finish line. Yeah, I don't know why George Russell's giving me such a big squeeze, but can we try and get the car lined up? No idea really what I want to aim for. I'm going to just aim straight ahead, I think, this weekend. Nailed it again! That's what we like to see. Right, let's see.
The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with a clutch.
Come on, let's do this. Here from Saudi Arabia, waiting on those 5 red lights. Oh, I was too busy looking at my RPM at the wrong moment. Rather unsurprisingly, it's been a terrible start. So we head down towards turn 1 there. But look at that, Valtteri Bottas nailed it as we... Oh, a little bit of contact there with George Russell through turn 1. Come on. I don't know what it is about this Haas car, but you just cannot get temperature into the tyres at the start of a Grand Prix there as we're getting boxed in behind Hamilton and Lando Norris. Their contact with yet another Mercedes at the start of the GP there, and that has not been what we needed here in Jeddah. Felt like I got the tyres into a pretty good window ready for the start there. We struggled in Bahrain to get the car off the line, but yeah, it's just so loose and lively, this thing. Really, really difficult to try and judge there as Mick Schumacher, he's made progress up 2 spots there as we thought we were going to look up the outside of Lando Norris there, trying to get a run off the exit of the corner. Mark, yeah, just telling me to make the best of it there after another dreadful start on F1 at 22. I don't know what it is about me on these games. I feel like I'm pretty good elsewhere. It's just the starts on the Formula 1 games I cannot get nailed down there. It's all over the back of Lando Norris. We have got very good top-end speed round here, so I'm hoping that'll come in clutch for us over the course of the weekend there. But can we just try and stick close to the McLaren as we head down in towards the final couple of corners there? I'm really hoping it's not just going to be Bottas that can rustle the feathers of Mercedes today. I wanted that to be me in this Grand Prix. If we get a nice tidy run out of the final turn, we might be able to try and get the run back past Lando by turn 1 there, but the McLaren Fantastic pickup out of the final corner there. Carlos Sainz, though, leads the way at the end of lap 1. And now, look at us. Oh, Mick Schumacher with damage into the box immediately. Definitely was not a planned stop there from Mick Schumacher. And look at that. Oh, Hamilton. Engine gone up immediately in the Mercedes there. What's going on early on in the Grand Prix? Hamilton's causing carnage as Lando Norris nowhere to go. And will that be a safety car then? We're back up to P7. Hamilton at the Grand Prix very early on there. So our second mechanical failure of the year. And we've only got a VSC. So there we go then. Mercedes 2 races in a row now, having some drama off the start. And our second virtual safety car of the year. We need to try and get back up to Bottas and Russell there, as I think the Red Bulls were locked into battle, as well as the Ferraris. At least that means Mick Schumacher hasn't been completely screwed, but he's still a long way back. So there we go then, end of lap 2. VSC now tucked away once more. We've got to try and close up the gap to Bottas. DRS now enabled. So the gap to Bottas floating at about 2 seconds at the moment, but I think, you know, if him and Russell, you know, the man that replaced him down at Mercedes, can have a bit of a ding-dong, maybe the Red Bulls in front of them. Still very, very early days here in Jeddah. Oh, you got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues in front of me. It's George Russell. Oh, the other Mercedes is gone as well. So both Mercedes then struggling in the heat here in Jeddah, and that was incredibly scary. Just suddenly a huge plume of smoke in front of us there, and we're certainly going to beat the Mercedes then this weekend. Both of them out inside 4 laps there. Toto Wolff will be absolutely fuming with that. But now, Perez really struggling as well under pressure from Valtteri Bottas. We could still get a big, big haul of points here. Oh, there we go. First time today then, getting the DRS off Valtteri Bottas. Just up the road there. The Alfa Romeo not quite got the pace to hang on to Sergio Perez's coattails. So maybe if we can move past Valtteri, we can try and hang on to Perez ourselves there. Looks like Verstappen now in hot pursuit of the Ferraris, who are having a good battle at the front. But new personal best for the day there, as we've definitely pushed Ocon back out of the range. I think it's a matter of hopefully when, not if, we can move past Bottas. Here we go then, all over the back of Bottas, but I'm not really sure we want to go for a move down this section of the circuit here. We're getting a lot of overspeed though on the fin, but we're just going to sit back for now, try and wait for a run out through the final couple of turns here. I think, yeah, going for a move there is probably going to be a bit suicidal. But anyway, down in towards the final couple of turns then of lap 6. Can we move back up to where we started in this Grand Prix? They're all Bottas. Just chops a little bit defensive down at the final turn. There gets a big chunk of oversteer though as he tries to split the power down. We're just going to be nice and smooth on our application of the throttle there to the outside of Valtteri Bottas. And yeah, pretty textbook move in the end. This car is fast around Jeddah, and Sergio Perez only a second up the road. Really struggling in that Red Bull in a way we've never really seen in real life in 2022. Now, if I just get within the DRS range, maybe P4's on the table. Yeah, I really do think Perez has got some sort of small mechanical issue early on in this GP there, because the gap to Verstappen has gone up by a couple of tenths this lap, but the gap to Perez is down about another second.
26.6 seconds.
Oh, I really hope Mick's curse doesn't continue in the game just like it has in real life there. Issues in both the opening 2 races of the campaign. Do believe if things went perfectly though, today points might not be impossible for him still, but he'll need to really slice his way through the field, as we are now within 1 second of Sergio Perez. Can we stick close enough though by the time we get back round to the DRS? Team saying we're going to start losing tyre grip quite soon. Got to be really careful on cold rubber. That's what cost us last time. There we go, into the DRS of Sergio Perez for the first time today then. Now, are we going to be able to apply some pressure to the Mexican? Or can Red Bull get those issues rectified? Is it just a technical hiccup? Or is it going to be something that's going to haunt him all day long here? Going to be about lap 10, lap 11 we want to box in this race. But have used a lot of battery to try and get close to Checo. Just been trying to manage our ERS over the last couple of laps here. We're getting much, much closer now to Sergio Perez, as I think Red Bull have told him to get a hurry up on, because he is definitely under a lot of pressure at this stage of the GP there. I think we're going to get told to box the end of this lap, but to be honest, I'm very tempted to try and match when Checo pits here. As look at the overspeed down towards turn 1 there, around the outside of Sergio Perez we go. Oh, the Red Bull though holds firm under braking. Can we try and get the power down on the exit? Not quite. It's still a much quicker car through some parts of the circuit. With the DRS all over the back of Sergio Perez, we've definitely got very good top-end speed in this Haas car. So I know that Red Bull are very strong with in real life, but perhaps this weekend they've just taken the setup the wrong way. As now we're going to try and look there to the outside of Sergio Perez, down in towards the final corner there. Clean around the outside the Red Bull we go. Can we get it slowed down though towards the apex? Perez going to have a look back up the inside, out through the final corner, but not quite able to get the power down. Verstappen and myself, as well as Charles Leclerc in... Hey! What did we hit? I don't often use rewinds on these games, but every once in a while we do have to there, as definitely didn't hit anything into the pit lane there, and apparently we just lost half the front wing for some reason. Maybe it was the fact we tried to take a bit too much curb on the way in there, but heading into our pit box, optimal turn in once again. Really starting to get into the groove with that.
There seems to have been a problem removing the left rear wheel. We need to try and put that behind us. Let's finish the race as strong as possible.
That is so frustrating.
No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Oh, come on. Cold rubber. Got to remember that as well. Oh, a lot of understeer as we head out of the pit lane. As now Sergio Perez is going to at least be given a good sort of 3-second advantage over me. We have to try and regroup, refocus though, and close back up to the Red Bull by the end. As again, this Haas is awful at heating up its tyres. Got brilliant race pace, brilliant top-end speed. No sense of trying to put warmth into tyres, however. And Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez both into the pit lane now. I'm sure it won't be long before Esteban Ocon follows them in as well. But so frustrating we keep getting these issues in the pit stops there. But where are we going to re-emerge in comparison to Sergio Perez? We're a long way further back from Max Verstappen, but of course Checo's going to have cold rubber as he heads out of the pit lane here as we head back down towards turn 1. So he's a long way up the road, but we should still gain a bit more through the S's. And to be fair, the gap is a little bit less than I thought it would be, hovering at about 3.5 seconds. Oh, that's not the line into there. But of course, Perez, yeah, still on cold rubber through these S's. So we should still see the gap come down a little bit more there as we glance the wall. Just maybe letting frustration set in a little bit here. We have to focus. At half distance, the gap's still 3 seconds. I'm not going to give up just yet then in this race. 12 laps to go. We've taken another half a second out of Sergio. This isn't over. We can definitely close up this gap. We've just got to keep hitting good, consistent lap times and make sure we don't shred the tyres. 10 laps to go then. Still setting PBs at the moment. And the gap to Sergio is still going the right way, but we're really having to try and hit our marks and also balance out our ERS usage. Plus, we have got that little bit more poke down the straights than the Red Bull, but it's just trying to make sure we've got enough that if I do get to him, that we've still got enough to attack with. It's a fine old balance here. Formula 1 has definitely become more and more this way in recent years with the ERS, but adds a unique challenge. Really feeling the groove at the moment. 8 laps to go here from Jeddah. The gap down to 1.5 seconds. If we can get within the 1 second zone, get the DRS, then we should have even more free time to close up to the Red Bull as Sergio Perez doing everything he can. But could we get a P4 in just the second race of our F1 career with Haas? Lap 19, the gap now floating at about a second. As long as we keep it tidy this time round, we should start getting the DRS on Sergio Perez. Come on, we can do this. Gunther Steiner, I'm sure, is very, very tense at the moment. And there we go then, for the first time in this second stint, we've now got the DRS on Sergio Perez, and surely with the extra top-end speed we've got as well, we are going to be able to fly past the Red Bull. It's then just trying to keep him at bay, because of course he's that much quicker through the corners still. But even with the DRS, we aren't going to have a clear-cut advantage around the lap. 5 laps to go then here from Jeddah, and if we can get a good run out of the final corner, I think we might be able to have a look back past Sergio Perez here as we head back down towards turn 1. Oh, a little bit of a lock-up through the final turn there as we just try and squeeze on the throttle on the exit. Activate the DRS though as we head up towards the start-finish line, and look how quick we close up on that Red Bull there. 210 miles an hour as we head back down towards turn 1. But again, Perez, so brave on the brakes there. Can I do the double up and under? Yes, I can! We move past Sergio Perez there with a beautiful little crossover move down through the first sector. But now, of course, he's going to be mighty quick through this first few S's. And are we going to be able to keep him at bay by the time we get back around to the second half of the lap? Let's have a look then as we head out of the final corner here. Is Sergio Perez going to be able to close down this gap? That Red Bull has definitely got straight line speed issues there with the DRS. He's still losing pace to us. as we head back down towards Turn 1 there. So Sergio Perez definitely has got a technical hiccup here. And unless Red Bull can get it sorted in the final 4 laps, I'm not really sure he's going to be able to do anything here. So Sainz as well with issues then late on in the afternoon, depending on how severe those are. Podium maybe? Perhaps I'm being a bit optimistic, but we're not going to give up. Charles Leclerc, their new fast lap of the day. It's maybe only 3/10 away. Fastest lap there. I think that was DRS assisted, to be fair. And of course the DRS round here gives you a huge extra advantage. But yeah, this weekend, around this track, this car has had some mega pace there. As the gap to Sainz now under 10 seconds. Unless he has a... Okay, thanks. Fastest lap bonus point. Yes, please. I think everyone at the front will go much quicker, though. Probably on the final lap there. But yeah, Sainz, though, gap now under 10, like I said. I think if we had one extra lap here, it might have been possible. Unless, of course, him and Verstappen battle. Let's just keep plugging away, as that is not the line through Turn 3. Final lap then here from Jeddah, and we're still under a huge amount of pressure from Sergio Perez, who I think is just going to try and drain the battery on this final lap there. Perez and Verstappen and Sainz even up the road, now finally disputing that P3 on P2 on the podium. But I think Verstappen has made the move work there. Sergio Perez, he's really tried to turn it up on the final lap of this Grand Prix. Maybe the team have gone, you know what, we'll just risk it and throw everything this engine's got at it to try and reclaim P4 here in Saudi Arabia. But are we going to be able to hang on ahead of the Red Bull there? He might be able to get a big run down in towards the final couple of turns of this GP, so it could all come down to the wire once again here at Jeddah. Same thing happened in the My Team video that went live on Monday, but here comes Sergio Perez then. Charles Leclerc, new fastest lap on the final lap of the Grand Prix like I predicted, but look at that, the Red Bull, he's just got no top end speed there. We'll give him the room on the outside there. Sergio Perez going to try and swing it around the outside as we head out the final. What was that? No! Perez, you monster!
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. So let's review the updated driver standings. Well, it wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Fernando Alonso, wherever he is, whatever team he's in, when is he not just brilliant? He'll give you a performance every time, just like he's done today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix there. Charles Leclerc, yet another race victory, you know. Are we surprised? Not particularly at this early stage there of the game. He comes through ahead, well, I mean, pole position, fastest lap, another race victory for Charles on this game there. Verstappen comes through for P2 there, ahead of Carlos Sainz there, and I'll be honest, looking back on that final lap between myself and Perez, I think I got some wheel spin and kind of oversteered into him slightly. So, you know what, we won't hold too much against Sergio Perez there at the checkered flag. P5, though, from 5th on the grid, I think is, yes, certainly a very, very good result there, and nice to know we've got good pace over a lot of the midfield runners there, especially around these high-speed circuits. Bottas sixth ahead of Alonso and Ocon. Gasly and Ricciardo round out the top 10 there. To be fair to Mick, very decent recovery there. When you consider he probably lost about 20 seconds through having to do a second pit stop, he would have been around Pierre Gasly in the Grand Prix there, so could have definitely had more points on the board there. Just both Mercedes not making it through to the checkered flag there. Like I said, I'm sure Toto Wolff will not be happy with that result at the end of the day there. But it does mean championship-wise, Sainz leads the way. 1 point now clear of Charles Leclerc after the opening 2 races of the campaign there. Perez P3 ahead of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton there. Alonso and myself now tied in 6th place there, ahead of Tsunoda, Bottas and Esteban Ocon. 13 drivers now on the board. Mick Schumacher leapfrogs his way up as best, or one of the best, of the non-point scorers there, with Lando Norris, rather surprisingly, still with no points on the board. Constructors-wise, though, we jump up into 6th place there, ahead of AlphaTauri. That horrible weekend means Mercedes drop behind Alpine, so fingers crossed, you know, P3, P4 should hopefully be where we're at by the end of the year there. Red Bull leapfrog their way up into 2nd place as well, and then McLaren jump Williams as well, down towards the rear of the field. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return very, very soon with more F1 22 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.